It was running out of breath. God, why was this place so damn big? Finding the one person she needed was turning out way harder than she thought. First of all, she didn't even know where he usually hung out.
He could be anywhere: library, gym, parking lot, rooftop maybe.
Isn't that where bad boys like to brood? She let out a frustrated sigh, clutching her bag tighter. This was such a bad idea. Why did I even come up with this in history class? Oh, right. Because that's when her brain decided to come alive, usually with the dumbest but somehow genius plans. And this one? Well, it was one of those dumb but maybe brilliant ideas. She wasn't sure yet. All she knew was she needed him, the one person who could pull it off. She checked every normal place. No sign of him. Just when she was about to give up and call herself a certified idiot, she remembered one last spot: the school's backyard. A place where nobody really went unless they were skipping class, smoking, or making out. Or, if you were real unlucky, getting caught by security. She wasn't sure if he would be there. Honestly, it was just a random guess. But she had to try, so she half ran toward the back gates, heart thudding like crazy, lungs burning from all the searching. The second she turned the corner, she came to halt. There he was. Her plan, Jungkook, leaning casually against the brick wall, right next to the overflowing trash bins. One foot pressed back against the wall, the other lazily, kicking a crushed can. A cigarette dangled between his fingers.
He took a slow drag, tilting, his head back,
blowing the smoke into the cloudy afternoon sky. For almost few seconds she just stood there staring. Because damn, even next to literal garbage, he somehow looked like he belonged on the covers of magazine. She took a deep breath, gathering all the bravery she could find inside her tiny, tired body. This was it. No backing out now. She marched toward him, sneakers crunching on the rough ground. He must have heard her because he turned his head slightly, his dark eyes narrowing on her through the thin veil of smoke. When she stood in front of him, he gave her a look. Lost? Nope, she said confidently. Despite the very loud voice in her head, screaming to turn around. Run back and never come back. I'm exactly where I need to be. He gave her a look, a long, slow once-over. Then he deadpanned, definitely lost. Her nose scrunched up, ready to snap back something smart. But then she caught herself. Right, she needed his help, not a fight. She pressed her lips together and said as sweetly as she could, I need a favor. He turned his head away, blowing another cloud of smoke into the air, not interested. Her eye twitched. Seriously? You didn't even hear what it is, she protested. He shrugged, flicking the ash off his cigarette. Don't need to. I can already guess it's as dumb as you're looking right now. Her mouth dropped open. What the hell? People weren't exaggerating when they said they couldn't stand JEO and Jungkook. Rude wasn't even the right word. He was a whole new category. Excuse me, she snapped, glaring at him. He didn't even bother replying this time. Just stared straight ahead like she wasn't worth the effort. And huffed, hands on her hips. God, what a mistake. This was baby, she should have just asked someone else. Anyone else. That then she clenched her fists and lifted her chin. No, she wasn't giving up that easily. At least hear me out first, she said, trying not to sound as desperate as she felt. She ground her teeth, ready to explode. A lady is trying to be nice. Here. The least you could do is show a tiny bit interest. He finally glanced sideways at her, completely unimpressed. Already told you, I don't have any interest. You're wasting your time. She planted her feet stubbornly into the ground. If this guy thought he was stubborn, he clearly had never crossed paths with Minin before. She was like a cockroach in an apocalypse. She didn't go down easy. Was that a good comparison? Well, whatever. You're going to hear me out anyway. I didn't waste my 26 minutes running around this stupid school just to give up on my plan. He flicked the cigarette to the ground, crushing it under his boot. For a second, she thought he was going to walk away again. But then with the most exhausted sigh she had ever heard in her life, he said, "Fine. Double quotes. Her eyes lit up. Ha, see? Even Jungkook couldn't resist her stubbornness. Seizing the chance, she quickly said the words that had been bouncing around in her brain since history class. All right, she said brightly, bouncing on her toes. Here's the deal. I want you to date me. That finally got a real reaction out of him. He turned his head fully, his dark brows raising in amusement as he gave her an almost pitying look. Then he scoffed. Wipe that chocolate off your cheek first. I can't even take you, seriously looking like that. Her mouth dropped open in horror, feeling her face heat up like a bonfire. She quickly wiped at her cheek, heart sinking when her fingers came away sticky. Looking down, she realized chocolate, smeared right there on her face like an idiot. She must have gotten it during lunch. How long had she been walking around like this? Happy now? She muttered. He shrugged, the corners of his mouth still twitching, the corners of his mouth twitching like he was holding back a laugh. He was totally laughing on the inside. She could feel it. So, she said, clearing her throat, what do you say? He tilted his head lazily. About what? She stared at him, exasperated. About the dating thing? Hello? Did you not hear a single word I said? Jungkook blinked at her like she was speaking another language. You don't even know me. I need to know you to fake date you. Fake date? He repeated, almost like he was making sure he heard her right. Yeah, she nodded quickly. I just told you, oops, did I forgot to mention the fake part. But yeah, it's all pretend. No feelings, just fake dating. Easy. She smiled, trying to look confident. And probably failing miserably. I just want to get back at someone, she added, a little more seriously. And I need your help. Find someone else, he said flatly. Already pushing off the wall, getting ready to walk away, panicked. She reached out and grabbed a handful of his school sweater, clutching it tightly. Hey, wait! Listen! He stopped and she held on tighter, refusing to let him go. You're the best option. Because he kind of envies you? Or hates you? I don't know, it's complicated. Jungkook raised an eyebrow. Who exactly are we talking about? YN sighed, knowing there was no point in hiding it if she needed his help. Mingyu, she mumbled. I want to make him jealous, and I know. It would totally work if it's you. Jungkook just stood there, staring at her with a blank expression. Then, his gaze dropped to her hand still clutching his sweater. Then back up to her again. How old are you? He asked flatly. 18! She stopped herself mid-word, scowling. How is that even relevant to our deal? He shook his head like he couldn't believe he was having this conversation, and then it hit her. He wasn't really asking for her age, he was insulting her. Because he thought she was acting like a little kid. Her cheeks flamed again, but this time with anger. She dropped his sweater, stepping back, cheeks burning, but swallowed her pride. Just tell me you will help me or not. Depends, he said. What's in it for me? And just like that, her mind blanked. Oh crap, she didn't thought that far ahead. Well, I don't know. Don't know? You don't know? Jungkook repeated, one eyebrow arching so high it could probably fly off his forehead. Nope, she said, popping the pea. Actually, I didn't even think you'd agree to talk to me. You were looking pretty damn confident a few seconds ago. Yeah, well, I'm good at faking things, clearly. He blew out a puff of smoke, looking almost entertained, but his face stayed blank as ever. Desperate, she started offering the first thing that popped into her head. I can do your homework? Slowly at her. Don't give a damn about homework. Okay, fine, she said quickly, waving her hand. What about, I can save you a seat at lunch. Best ones, near the window. Good, sunlight. Double quote. Do I look like I care about sunlight? Okay, bad idea. She scrambled for something else. I can buy you coffee daily, she said, almost shouting. The cafeteria coffee tastes like motor oil.
You? He said dryly. You'd fight for me?
Don't underestimate me, she huffed. I've been kicked out of a taekwondo class once for being too aggressive. Okay, fine. It was because she kicked the instructor by accident, but that's not the point.
He shook his head. Ooh!
She groaned, tugging at her own hair. You're making this really hard, you know that? Not my problem. She stomped her foot once, looking up at the sky like she was asking the heavens for strength. If you don't want anything, then what the hell do you want? He finally paused, his eyes scanning her face slowly, thinking, and then, after a long second, he spoke. Voice low and casual. Do you don't know how to cook? She scratched the back of her neck awkwardly. Depends. If you count ramen, cereal, and scrambled eggs, slightly burnt grilled cheese as cooking, then yes. I am a 5-star chef. I don't think I'm getting any benefit from it then. She stepped closer, tilting her head up to look him right in the eyes. She wasn't giving up that easily. I can learn, I'll YouTube it, I'll practice. I'll even call my grandma. She makes a killer stew. He again stared at her like a robot scanning for some weapon. Good enough, he said, straightening up and tossing the cigarette away. Her eyes widened. Was he actually agreeing? Wait, what? Good. Enough for what? He leaned down a little, so close she could smell the faint scent of smoke. For as long as we're fake dating, you make me food. Anything. Every day, she squeaked. Every day, he repeated. Don't half-ass it, real food. She opened her mouth, closed it, then opened it again like a dying fish. Boo! But why food? She finally asked, baffled. No reason. Deal or not, Minnie. She swallowed. This boy was trouble, but she jutted her chin up stubbornly. Deal, she said finally, sticking her hand out toward him. He looked at her hand like it was a foreign object before he shook at once, quick and careless. Hope you're better at cooking than you are at planning, he muttered. Hope you're better at being fake nice than you are at being a jerk. She shot back instantly. He grinned lazily. This was going to be interesting. It's been a long awkward week since this whole fake dating thing started. And honestly, it was kind of a flop so far. Mostly because Mingyu, the entire reason behind this genius plan, decided to stop showing up to school like he was some sort of celebrity too cool for education, which meant there was no audience. Which meant there was no reason for Jungkook and her to stick around each other, which meant they mostly just avoided each other, except for the few humiliating times when she made a complete fool of herself trying to act natural. One time she tripped on literally nothing while trying to flip her hair. She is still haunted closing parenthesis but today was different. She spotted him leaning against the same wall where she usually found him, only this time, no cigarette, the dangling from his fingers. His arms were crossed, head tilted back, and eyes closed. Maybe he was catching a nap. She slowed down. But she was pretty sure he heard her, though he didn't bother to open his eyes. Feeling weirdly like she was about to wake a sleeping bear, she tapped his shoulder. His eyes squinted open, dark and slow and heavy-lidded, locking onto hers with a silent question mark written all over his face. She cleared her throat awkwardly, trying not to fidget. Here, she said, shoving the lunchbox into his hand before she could. Chicken out. He looked down at it, then back at her. His face flashed something, surprise? But it was gone so fast she wasn't even sure if she imagined it. Without a word, he took it. I don't know what you like, but yeah. I made packed lunch for you. His fingers brushed hers when he grabbed the box, and for a stupid second, her heart actually skipped. Calm down. You're not actually dating him. So it starts from today, he said with a little raspy voice. Yup, she nodded, folding her arms behind her back awkwardly. Okay, he said, tucking the lunchbox under his arm. She stared at him, a little offended. Just, okay?
He raised a brow. What more do you want? Fireworks.
She opened her mouth, then closed it. Fair point. Never mind, she grumbled, turning on her heel and stomping off toward the canteen to buy her own lunch. The cafeteria was busy as usual. Laughing, shouting, people running Dot around like headless chickens. She grabbed a sandwich and a juice box. Because yes, I was secretly 5 years old and went to sit at one of the Dot tables near the window. Alone. Her best friend was still on vacation, having the time of her life while she was here pretending to date the school's resident dark prince. She plopped down, unwrapping her sandwich, when she heard the loud screech of the chair beside her dragging across the floor. She flinched, looking up quickly and almost choked on air. Jungkook sat down like he owned the place, dumping the lunchbox she gave him right in the middle of the table. They just stared at each other. Her, startled halfway through chewing air. Him, calm and pretty much blank, like always. What are you doing? She finally sputtered. He leaned back in the chair, arms crossed, eyes half-lidded. What does it look like? He said. Lunch date. She gawked at him for a solid 3 seconds. Lunch date. Was he serious? He casually opened the lunchbox. The scent of food hit them instantly. Inside, she packed him a simple lunch. A small chicken sandwich, some potato wedges, and a little side of fruit salad because she was feeling fancy. He stared at it like it was a bomb. Then, very slowly, he picked up the sandwich, inspecting it like a suspicious old man checking if the food was poisoned. You know, she opened her juice box with a very aggressive stab of the straw. You're being very suspicious for a guy who smokes literal poison. He ignored her, taking a bite of the sandwich. Chewed and chewed some more. And then, with the most unimpressed face on planet Earth, he spoke. Digestible. Her jaw open. Wow, you really know how to flatter a girl.
He shrugged, taking another bite. Just telling you the truth, he said, mouth half full. At least it won't kill me.
She narrowed her eyes at him, ready to stab him with her plastic fork. You're so welcome, Your Highness. Next time I'll pack rat poison for extra flavor.
He smirked a small, almost hidden one, but it was there.
You suck at this, by the way. At what? Acting like we're dating. Oh, really? Then how about you teach me since you are so natural? He leaned in a little, just enough to make her squirm in my seat. If you want people to believe we're together, you gotta stop bickering every 5 seconds. Try acting natural. She opened her mouth to argue, but right at that second, his dark gaze dropped slowly to her mouth. Especially with that sharp mouth of yours, no one will believe you, Minnie. She felt her face heat up, embarrassment and something else twisting, together in her stomach. Well, sorry if I don't have a PhD in fake love. She huffed. Well, then try. Didn't you offer this deal? And she didn't have anything more left to say because, damn it, he had a point. But the problem is she can't fake her emotions. Everything she feels is written all over her face, and mostly he doesn't give her a reason to look at him lovingly. This is so ridiculous. Ing groaned, dragging her palms down her face, letting the notes in front of her flutter in the wind like useless paper birds. She was sitting on the grass like a child denied her favorite toy legs, stretched out under the tree. Why did I even take this class? Why am I like this? The sun was too bright, the words on the page were swimming. Her brain was fried. And just when she thought she had at least some privacy to suffer, a voice appeared out of nowhere. You look like a raccoon that just found out garbage doesn't taste good. Her head whipping to the side. Jungkook was there now sitting beside her. Why haven't she noticed it? Where did you even come from? She squinted at him, shielding her eyes. Are you growing out of the grass now? Is that your new thing? Maybe, but as a responsible boyfriend, I have to make sure my girlfriend doesn't melt down under the study pressure. Wyan gave him a side eye. Why does she feel like he is having so much more fun in this whole deal? What's the problem this time? He asked. This. What the hell is all this even saying? I swear these notes are written in demon language. Looks like history. It is history, and it's trying to kill me. You chose it. Bad life decisions. Let me cry. Anyway, it's already off time. You gonna spend the rest of your evening here. She glanced at the time on her phone. Crap. It was off time. When it gotten so late? She sighed and started gathering papers, Dot shoving them into her bag without even folding them properly. You pack like a raccoon too, he commented. Shut up. By the time she was zipping the bag closed, he was already on his feet. And then, to her surprise, he extended a hand toward her. Her eyes narrowed. What's that? He gave her a deadpan look. A hand? I know it's a hand. I mean, why are you giving it to me? To help you up? He said it like she was the weird one here. Suspiciously, she took it anyway. His hand was warm and solid, like engulfed her fingers in his and it annoyingly helpful as he pulled her up in one smooth motion. Are you all right? She asked, brushing dirt off her jeans. You are being weirdly gentleman today? That's what you call being nice?
He scoffed, already turning to walk. I call it basic manners.
Well, whatever it is, it's suspicious. He didn't answer, of course not. He just shoved his hands in his pockets and started walking ahead, his pace slightly faster than hers. She jogged a little to catch up with him, the gravel crunching beneath her shoes. Slow down, Usain Bolt. He didn't slow down, just turned his head slightly. Why did you two break up? The question came out of nowhere. You're asking me? No, he said, looking dead ahead. I'm asking the lady walking on my left side. She groaned. Why do you always have a stick up your ass?
He ignored that, just like always.
Well, it's kind of a long story. Okay, he replied flatly. She squinted at him. Okay? That's it. He gave her a slow side glance. Well, she said quickly before he lost interest. If you accompany me to this bookstore I've been wanting to visit, I'll tell you. Why would I accompany you? He asked, brows lifting slightly like. The idea offended him on a spiritual level. Because you want to hear my tragic little breakup story? She offered, batting her lashes. One of those deep, long-suffering ones like she was testing the very limits of his patience. Fine, he muttered. And just like that, she did a little victory dance in her head. She wanted to visit this new bookstore for a whole week now. But every time she got to the end of the street, she chickened out and went home. Something about going alone made it feel lonely and stupid. But now she had a very fake boyfriend walking beside her with hands shoved into his black hoodie, looking like a villain on his day off. Plus, she might have heard there was a couple's discount on certain books if you shared a drink at their little inside cafe. Was it true? She didn't know. Was she going to drag him in to find out? Absolutely. They reached the bookstore, and she swore her soul left her body for a second. Oh my God, she whispered, stepping in hand still holding the door. Jungkook definitely not held open for her. This is gorgeous. It smelled like old paper and cinnamon, and the wooden shelves reached all the way up to the ceiling. There were ladders attached to the rails. Jungkook walked in behind her. They didn't say anything at first. He just followed as she moved toward the history section because obviously, if she wasn't dying in history lectures, she was voluntarily torturing herself with historical fiction priorities. She crouched near one of the bottom shelves, scanning titles. And she didn't even realize she started talking until halfway through the sentence. So, the breakup story, right? He just hummed low like a go-on. It's not really tragic. She pulled out a book without looking at it. He's my best friend's son. Jungkook blinked. The information was new to him. Yeah, I know. Ooh, she added. I saw him once in a while during family gatherings. We never really talked until last year when he recognized me at one of those gatherings. He got weirdly excited. Said he was glad he finally knew someone from the family, and I guess I felt the same. And I was relieved too. I mean, family gatherings are a special kind of torture, you know? He stayed quiet, just tilted his head a little. Then he started showing interest, and I was like, okay, cool, he's nice. He's good looking. I mean, come on,
He's captain of the basketball team.
Everyone likes him. She looked over at Jungkook. Don't make that face. You cannot deny, he's objectively good. His game's good. And he was good, alright, I mean, objectively speaking. Jungkook shrugged like he didn't care. But he looked away and picked up a random romance novel with a shirtless guy on the cover. Anyway, we ran into each other again at another family event. 8 months ago. That's when he asked me out. I was like, hell. Yes. She picked another book. Turns out we fall for appearances way too fast. And at first he responded. 3 months in, he stopped answering my messages. Unless he wanted to talk. I was supposed to just know when he was in the mood. It became exhausting. I couldn't even tell anyone in school because he didn't want people to know. Said it'd ruin his private life or whatever. She closed the book in her hands. It didn't even interest her anymore. And my patience ran out one night. She looked up at Jungkook. He got drunk at some party and tried to kiss me. I refused because no way in hell I was giving my first kiss to someone who smelled like vodka and made eye contact with a wall. Jungkook finally turned to look at her fully, something unreadable in his eyes. Things got weird after that. Colder. Meaner. He started acting like I owed him something. And one day I just got tired. I told him I didn't want to do this anymore. She gasped, suddenly snatching a bright red book off the shelf. Oh, my God, I found IT. She squealed. Jungkook flinched in surprise. Goodness, you know how long I've been wanting this book? She shoved it in his face, almost smacking his nose with it. He stepped back, rubbing his temple. Where were we? She asked, then shook her head. Right, I broke up with him. He got all smug and said something like, you are good for nothing. No one would date a girl with your kind of personality anyway. Jungkook raised a brow. You broke up with him? She nodded. Then, why are you trying to make him jealous? I lied, she huffed. I don't give a damn about him. This whole fake dating thing, it was more out of spite. I just wanted to prove him wrong, which is flopping so far, by the way. He let out a short, low sound that might have been a scoff or a sigh. What a stupid reason. She threw her head back with a groan. Well, it wasn't all stupid. It sounded amazing in my head when I thought about it during history class. I mean, come on, I just wanted to see the look on his face when he finds out I'm dating you, the guy he can't stand. Yep, it will be definitely worth it. Jungkook sighed. He wasn't really interested in whoever she getting back at. As long as he is getting his part of the deal, he is content with it. In next 10 minutes, she explored the area and got the books she wanted. She didn't want to make him wait so much. He was already accompanying her, which was unexpected but enough. Sorry, I didn't want to make you wait this long, she said, setting the pile gently on the counter. You already did, he muttered, but there was no bite in his tone. She rolled her eyes, used to it by now. The cashier, a girl around their age, maybe slightly older, with glittery clips in her hair and heart-shaped, earrings, smiled when she saw them. Ah, you two are together? She asked, smiling wider, clearly delighted. Blinked, Jungkook blinked. They were standing at least 3 feet apart like awkward cousins in a family reunion photo. Yes, she said, at the same time Jungkook said, unfortunately, double quotes, she elbowed him. He shrugged, just reached out lazily to fix the strap of her tote bag. Obviously, added, laughing nervously, crossing her arms but not moving any closer. The cashier smiled. Cute, double quote. Thanks, she said, even though there was nothing cute about it. We're doing a couples offer today. You get 20% off if you complete the dare. Jungkook head turned slowly. Dare? What kind of dare? Asked, suspicious. We actually have a discount for couples. Well, we had a coffee deal where you drink from one straw and get 20% off. But we ran out of coffee about an hour ago. Hope visibly died on her face. So, the lady tilted her head thoughtfully. The backup plan is if the couple shares a kiss, we still apply the discount. Jungkook's entire face screamed no when glanced at him. Don't even think about it. I wasn't going to, she said defensively. You don't look so sure, he said through gritted teeth. Stop flattering yourself. You're rich enough. You don't need the discount, he whispered, barely moving his lips. The cashier, completely unaware of the intense whisper fight, continued scanning the books with soft beeps filling the air. You two decided yet? She asked, glancing up with a hopeful smile. We won't, she stammered, cheeks going dot bright. We're, new. In the relationship. Very new. Like newborn dot baby new, so we're not at the level of, public things. Jungkook groaned out loud. Because why did she feel the need to dot explain that to a cashier? But the girl just smiled. You two are adorable, seriously. Okay, let's tone it down. How about a cheek kiss? I'll throw in this dot little guy too. She held up a small, adorable teddy bear with a bow tie. In eyes lit up, locked on the bear, Jungkook looked at her. Then looked at the bear, then looked at daughter again. She looked conflicted, genuinely conflicted. Jungkook looked away, hands sliding into his pockets. What was this girl even doing? She could buy 10 of those bears if she wanted. Double quotes. Why are you staring at it like you can't afford it? He muttered under his breath, but she didn't reply. 20 seconds passed, done painful seconds where she stood there, caught in a mental war between dignity and plush toys. He gritted his teeth, his patience breaking like glass. Before he could stop himself, he grabbed her. Fingers curling around her wrist, yanking her, pulling her close. Her body bumped into his chest, and then he pressed his lips on her cheek. Slow, unapologetic, just below her cheekbone, where her skin was soft and too warm from the sudden blood circulating all the way up to her cheek. His lips stayed there longer than necessary. 1 second, 2, 3, long enough to make in freeze completely, her eyes wide and heartbeat loud in her ears. Long enough for Jungkook himself to realize what the hell he just did. He pulled back slowly, jaw tense, not meeting her eyes while she didn't, moved an inch from her place. The cashier clapped. You guys are so cute. I'll wrap up the teddy now. In opened her mouth, closed it. Tried again, nothing. Jungkook didn't say a word. He just handed over the card, took the bag and muttered, "Let's go." She followed him out, still in a half daze, the teddy bear cradled in, one arm like a small witness to a crime. Blood was rushing everywhere, her ears, her cheeks, her chest, her brain, her knees, and none of it felt manageable. They walked in silence. Footsteps on the pavement, 1, 2, 1, 2, after a minute. Jungkook finally stopped walking. He stopped walking and held out the paper bag stiffly. Here, take your books, he said, not meeting her eyes. She blinked at the bag, then at him. Just pretend that never happened. She cleared her throat like it would clear the memory out too, but her face still burned. Right, yeah, of course. They didn't say anything after that, just kept walking. Her house came into view too soon, somehow. She kind of wanted another 5 minutes, just a little more time to figure out if the air between them had changed, or if she was just imagining it. She stepped up to her door and turned around. Thank you for but the words died on her lips. He was already walking away. She watched him for a few seconds before ringing the bell.
Weirdo.